You are sitting in the back row of a lecture hall. It is 9:14 in the morning. The professor is talking about something. You don't know what. You haven't been listening for the last 40 minutes. Your notebook is open in front of you, but the page is empty except for a single doodle in the corner that you don't remember drawing. Your phone buzzes. You look down. It's your midterm grade. You already know what it says before you open it. You fail another one. That makes 3 this semester. And as you sit there staring at that red number on your screen, something inside you finally cracks. You realize you cannot do this anymore. You realize you have been pretending for 2 years. And you realize, maybe for the first time in your entire life, that nobody is coming to save you. This is the story of what you do next. You are 19 years old. Your parents are proud of you, or at least they were, back when you got accepted. You remember the day the letter came. Your mother cried. Your father shook your hand for the first time in your life like you were a man. You remember how it felt to be the kid everyone bet on. The smart one. The one who would make it out. And now, 2 years later, you are failing 3 classes and lying to your family every time they call. You tell them everything is fine. You tell them midterms went well. You tell them you are happy. And every time you hang up the phone, you sit on the edge of your dorm bed and feel like you are slowly drowning in a swimming pool that nobody else can see. You don't know when it started. Maybe it was the first week of freshman year when you walked into that introductory economics class and realized you did not understand a single word the professor was saying. Maybe it was the second semester when you started skipping classes and telling yourself you would catch up later. Maybe it was the first time you got a D on a paper and instead of studying harder, you went back to your dorm and slept for 14 hours. Whatever it was, somewhere along the way, you stopped trying. And the worst part is that nobody noticed. You blended in. You showed up to enough classes to not get flagged. You said the right things at family dinners. You posted the right photos on social media. From the outside, you were a college student. From the inside, you were a ghost. And then one night you find something. It is nothing dramatic. You are scrolling through your phone at 2 in the morning, eyes burning, and you stumble onto a video. Someone your age talking about how they built a small online business while they were still in school. You don't even know why you watched the whole thing. But you do. And when it ends, you watch another and another. And by the time the sun is coming up, you have a notebook open in front of you, and you are writing down ideas. Real ideas. Bad ideas, mostly. But ideas. For the first time in 2 years, you feel something other than dread. You feel curious. You feel awake. You start small. You pick one idea, the least embarrassing one, and you start working on it in secret. You don't tell your roommate. You don't tell your friends. You sure as hell don't tell your parents. You work on it between classes you don't attend. You work on it instead of studying for the finals you are about to fail. You teach yourself everything you don't know, one tutorial at a time, one mistake at a time. And slowly, in the cracks of your collapsing college life, something starts to grow. It is small. It is fragile. But it is yours. And for the first time, you understand what it means to actually want something. Then comes the day you knew was coming. You get an email from the dean's office. Academic probation. One more failed semester and you are out. You sit in your dorm room and read that email 27 times. You think about your parents. You think about the look on your father's face if he finds out. You think about your cousins, your aunts, the people in your hometown who have been telling everyone how proud they are of you. And then you do something that surprises you. You laugh. Not because it's funny. Because something has finally broken loose inside you. Because for the first time you stop being afraid of failing. You realize you are already failing. You have been failing for 2 years. The only thing left to be afraid of is staying. So you make the decision. Not all at once. Not in some cinematic moment. You make it slowly, over weeks. You stop going to classes you were already skipping. You start putting all your time, all your energy, all of yourself into the thing you have been building in secret. And then one night you sit down at your desk and you write the email. You tell the registrar you are withdrawing. You tell your parents you have something to talk about. You don't know how they will react. You don't know what comes next. You just know that you cannot keep pretending. And you press send. Your parents are devastated. Your father stops speaking to you for 3 months. Your mother cries every time you call. She asks what she did wrong. She asks if you have lost your mind. And you don't have a good answer because the truth sounds insane out loud. You tell her you are building something. You tell her you have a plan. But to her, you sound like every dropout in every cautionary tale she has ever heard. You move out of the dorms. You move into a friend's spare room. You have a few $1,000s saved up from a summer job, and that is all you have in the world. You learn to live on instant noodles and tap water. You learn what it feels like to be broke in a way that scares you. And every single day you wake up and work on the only thing that still feels real. The first 6 months are the hardest months of your life. You almost quit twice. There is one night, around month 4, when you sit on the floor of that spare bedroom and you cry like you have not cried since you were a child. You think about going back. You think about calling your dad and saying you were wrong. You think about how much easier it would be to just be normal, to just go back to the path everyone wanted for you. But every time you get close to giving up, something stops you. A user signs up. A stranger emails you to say they love what you built. The momentum is slow, painfully slow, but it is real. And real beats easy. Every single time. The first real breakthrough comes around month 9. You have been building this thing for almost a year. You have 1,100 users. Half of them barely use it. The other half love it, but they are not paying you a cent because you have not figured out how to charge them yet. Your bank account hits $241. You have eaten cereal for dinner 3 nights in a row. And then you do something simple. You email every single one of your active users. Not a marketing email. A real one. You tell them you are a college dropout. You tell them you are running out of money. You tell them that if they want this thing to keep existing, you need their help. You launch a paid version that night, $9 a month. You hit send on the email and you close your laptop and you go to bed because you cannot bear to watch. When you wake up, you have 43 paying customers. You sit on the edge of your bed for a long time. You do the math. 43 times 9 is $387 per month. Not life-changing, not even rent, but it is the first time you have ever made money from something you built with your own hands. And you understand, in that moment, that something has fundamentally changed. People paid you. People you have never met. People who could have spent that money on anything else in the world. They chose you. They chose the thing you built. And if 43 people will do it, then 100 will. And 1,000 will. And 10,000 will. You stop sleeping properly. Not because you are stressed. Because you are too excited. You start building features that paying customers ask for. You answer every support email yourself. You build the relationships that will hold the company together for years. By month 12, you have 210 paying customers. By month 15, you have 600. The day you cross 1,000 paying users, you sit on your kitchen floor and laugh so hard you cry. $9,000 a month. You can pay rent. You can pay for food that is not noodles. You can pay yourself a tiny salary that makes you feel for the first time in years like a real person. That is when you hire your first employee. Her name is Priya. She found your app on her own and she had been emailing you suggestions for months. Smart suggestions. The kind that made you realize she understood your product better than you did. You offer her a job over a video call. You cannot pay her what she is worth. You tell her that. You tell her you can pay her enough to live on, and you can give her a piece of the company, and you can promise her that if this works, she will be there from the very beginning. She says yes before you finish the sentence. 2 weeks later, you are not alone anymore. Things start moving faster. With Priya handling design and customer support, you can finally focus on growth. You learn marketing the same way you learn to code. By failing, by reading, by trying things at 2 a.m. until something works. You write a blog post about your story, about dropping out, about the fear, about building this from nothing. It goes viral. 20,000 people sign up in a single week. Your servers crash twice. You stay up for 36 straight hours fixing things. And when the dust settles, you are not a small experiment anymore. You are a company, a real one, with users in 11 countries, with a payroll, with a name people are starting to recognize. Then comes the first crisis. Around month 20, a much bigger company launches a feature that looks suspiciously like yours. They have funding. They have a sales team. They have brand recognition. Your growth slows for the first time. Some of your customers churn. Priya comes into your tiny office one morning and tells you very gently that she is scared. You are scared too. You spend a weekend alone, walking around the city, trying to figure out what to do, and then you realize something. They have everything you don't have, but you have one thing they do not have. You have the users who actually love this. You have the relationships. You have the small human details that a billion-dollar company cannot fake. So you double down on that. You spend the next 3 months not building new features, but talking to your users. Hours and hours of phone calls. You learn what they actually need. You rebuild the product around it. And by the time you are done, the bigger competitor's feature has flopped. Your users love you more than ever. The first investor reaches out to you over email. You almost delete it because you think it's a scam. It isn't. They saw your viral blog post. They have been watching the company grow for months. They want to give you money, not life-changing money, but more money than you have ever seen in one place. You take a call with them, you take 3 more calls, and you sign your first investment deal in a coffee shop on a Tuesday afternoon. $500,000 for 10% of the company. You walk out of that coffee shop and you call your mom, and for the first time since the night you dropped out, she does not cry on the phone. She listens. She asks questions. And at the end she says, very quietly, "I think I understand now." You move into a real office. 3 rooms, exposed brick, a window that actually opens. You hire 3 more people. An engineer who is twice as good as you are. A marketer who used to work at companies you had only read about. A junior designer who is 20 years old and has the same look in her eyes that you had at 19. You sit in your new office on the first day and you feel something you have never felt in your life. You feel like a leader, not because you wanted to be one, because the people sitting at those desks are trusting you with their careers and you cannot let them down. Year 3 is brutal. Brutal in the best way. You go from 5 employees to 15. From 15 to 30. You move offices again. You start serving entire school districts, then companies, then governments. You get on a plane for the first time as a CEO and not as a kid going home for the holidays. You raise a Series A, $5 million. You read the term sheet 6 times because you cannot believe your name is on it. You hire a CFO, you hire a head of sales, you hire people who have done things you have never done, and you learn from them every single day. You make mistakes, expensive ones. You fire someone for the first time and you go home and you sit in the dark and you wonder if you have become the kind of person you used to be afraid of. You haven't. But the doubt is part of the job now. And then one day, your father calls. He has not really called you, not properly, in almost 3 years. You answer the phone with your heart in your throat. He doesn't say much at first. He asks how you are. He asks about the company. He asks if you're eating enough. And then at the end of the call, he says one sentence. He says, "Your mother showed me an article about you today. I am proud of you, son." And he hangs up. You sit at your desk and you don't move for a long time, because everything you have been chasing for years without even realizing it was hidden inside that one sentence. Today, the company has 80 employees. You serve over 1 million users in 23 countries. You bought your parents a house last year, not because they asked, because you could. Your mother keeps a framed photo of your university acceptance letter on the mantelpiece, and right next to it, a photo of the day you signed the lease on your first office. She says it reminds her that both of those moments were necessary, that one made the other possible. You are not sure if that is true, but you let her believe it, because you love her. A few months later, you find yourself back near your old university. You are there for a meeting, a partnership deal with the business school of all places, the same business school that once told you you were on academic probation. You arrive early. You walk across the campus you used to walk across every morning, hands in your pockets, taking the long way. You pass the lecture hall, the same one. You can see the back row through the window. There is a kid sitting there with his head down, phone in his lap, eyes glazed over, and for a long moment you just stand there and watch him. You wonder what is on his screen. You wonder what red number he is staring at. You wonder if tonight is the night something will finally crack open inside him too. You will never know. You walk away. That night, back at the office, you stay late. Everybody else has gone home. The lights are off in the rest of the building. You sit at your desk with a cup of cold coffee and you open a blank document. You don't know why. You just start writing. You write about the lecture hall. You write about the night you typed out the withdrawal email. You write about Priya saying yes on that video call. You write about the morning you woke up to 43 paying customers. You write about your father's voice on the phone, that one sentence, the one that you still hear sometimes when you are alone. You write for 2 hours. And when you are done, you sit back and you read it. And you realize something strange. The kid in the lecture hall is still inside you. He never left. He is the one who built all of this. Every desk, every employee, every line of code, every late night. He is the reason any of it exists. You close the document. You don't save it anywhere special. You stand up, you turn off the desk lamp, and you walk out of the office into a city that does not know your name. And somehow that feels like the most peaceful thing in the world. Because for the first time in your life, you are not running from anything. You're not pretending to be anything. You are just a person walking home who built something real and who is finally, quietly, allowed to be proud of it.